Should be.
It's like we're on
Welcome back, everyone.
hot mics, everyone.
Welcome to the Hangout.
All right, guys, this is our after show hangout. We haven't completely decided on the format that we want to take right now. We discuss whatever I feel like discussing. Um,
Disgusting.
so we'll go ahead and redo announcements. Every Monday, we do have our Preternatural premiere, our brand new episode. Uh, we just did episode 6. Next week, join us. Hopefully, you can join us for episode 7. Uh, check my schedule below in the link, the little where it says schedule beneath this, so you can see what time it comes out in your time zone. Afterwards, we take a 30-minute break and we do this show, which is a lot less formal. We're just hanging out, talking about whatever we want to talk about. We do have a topic in mind, which I'll reveal shortly. If you want to catch up with those, with the story so far, there is a link also below for my YouTube channel where these videos go up so you can catch up with the story. Um, the guys very thoughtfully reminded me this week that we got some more media coming up. If you guys can help me out with that.
On Instagram, you can check us out at Heavy Metal METTLE 2023, and on Reddit.
Now we got the same thing going on Reddit. Reddit is the Reddit page is going to be more geared toward releases of the system, advice and help with the system, discussion of the heavy metal system. Of course, that is r/heavy HEAVY metal METTLE. It's there. We put up links to the YouTube videos that are already up. But yeah, if you want to participate in the conversation about the rule system which Hector's created, uh, and for updates and releases, because this thing's going to come out pretty soon here, man. Hector.
Oh, we're doing a lot of work, man. But we got a lot of things on the burner right now.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm
for
looking at the
example,
same.
we
I'm looking at the same, man, because I'm trying to get that character sheet ready for release.
yeah, we got Luke's working on the character sheet. We're working on our social media. I got this stream going up, which I try to improve a little bit, every week. I think I got something you guys are going to enjoy, which is going to help out the stream. Hopefully, we can get it up by next week. I don't want to overpromise. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but we got something new coming up next week. Hopefully, don't hold me to it. It might
So
take
you're
two
gonna,
weeks.
so you're gonna kill our characters, and we're gonna
I
start
already,
a different campaign.
I already did. I mean, I got both of your luck points already. I didn't plan.
My birthday's tomorrow, and you know what the perfect birthday present for a character is? A luck point.
We might have to. I don't know. I might actually consider that because these investigations are pretty rough. As a matter of fact, before we start on our topic for this week, why don't we do some after game and between game stuff so that you guys can kind of get a sense of what goes on a little bit behind the scenes. For example, our last episode, if you just caught it, we had a very special guest uh,
Elvis.
performing live. Yeah, it was kind of cool. What did you guys think of that?
He was
I
a rad
enjoyed it.
dude, and Dan enjoyed his company.
I enjoyed it, man. It was pretty cool. The impression was pretty damn spot on too.
Hey, thanks. I tried real hard. I was going to ask you how the impression was. I worked on it all week for this episode.
See, since we're speaking of impressions, I'm gonna try my best to do well the wild things uh, by some guy. Who cares? It's a kid's book.
That's a little better. All right.
Hmm.
So because Elvis is a groovy dude, I was going to say he went ahead and fix up your truck in the 3 weeks that you guys are partying, and you guys can each roll separately. Uh, let's just say, Dan, why don't you roll for the undercarriage, the under the bed compartment,
Mm,
and you can roll, Sean. You can roll for
the tail
the
light
the
compartment.
tail light compartment.
What am
Now
I rolling?
you leave yours. Yours will be 85% chance, and yours, Sean, will be 76% chance.
Percentile is all I needed to know, my friend.
Mm,
My rolling
double,
surface is just not good today.
double zeros. I rolled double zeros.
I rolled
You rolled
70.
double zeros, so you rolled nothing. You
Well,
rolled a
Rolled
hundred.
100.
double
A
zeros and a
100%.
You
double
rolled a
zeros
hundred.
and an 8. So does that technically
Oh,
8%?
that's 8%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I rolled 78. What the hell was I supposed to hit?
Oh no, you're supposed to roll under 76. No tail light compartment for you, sir.
There you go.
But 100% we got the undercarriage.
Yeah, you got the tire spare tire replacement carriage, gun rack. Um, you guys can also fill that with some guns if you like.
Yeah.
Why, why don't you pick 4 rifles? This is some of the stuff that goes on at a game, guys, because we have to uh, dilute it down to a condensed form for the stream because we need to do 2 hours. If you've ever done a 2 hour one shot, most people haven't. It's actually pretty frantic. So we got
Yeah.
some behind the scenes stuff going on that we do at a game. We don't want you to think that we're robbing you of content like the stuff that
We're
we do
robbing them
behind
of
it.
content.
But this is like
It's
the boring
boring.
stuff.
It's boring content.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
robbing them of.
So we're robbing you of the boring content. We do this stuff.
We're definitely robbing them of content.
Yeah, normally off screen on our off time. So there is a good amount of work that goes into this stuff. Um, you guys go ahead and pick 4 rifles, all 4 of which must have existed in 1986. And you guys can have those in the back if you want, along with some other stuff if you can think of other stuff.
I'll take a 30-06.
Sure. I won't make you roll. That's too common.
Ooh. Um. I think it's A Henry rifle.
Sure, lever action. What caliber?
I don't know. I don't know anything about guns, Hector.
Hold on. I know this one.
What was the best range?
Caliber. Oh, geez. What's that
Um,
one? I showed you that video, man. I don't have it anymore. I deleted it from my phone after I showed it to you with that huge 4 bore.
you're talking about a 4 bore rifle. That let's see if those are available in the 80s.
I think those things have been available since like the 1800s, man. I think that's
but
what replaced the blunderbuss was the 4 bore. Then they started rifling guns, giving them better distance and making smaller bullets.
Yeah, but the thing is, something like that is like specialty for safari in Africa. You know what I mean? There isn't a lot of.
We were
There
just
isn't.
in Vegas partying with Elvis.
Yes, and that's why you have a chance.
So you guys, I'm going to give y'all a 4 bore. That's because it's my favorite gun. I love to go hunt with that thing. I've been to Africa on safari. Shot my TV with one.
No, let's see. You can find some. Yeah, there's a decent chance. Why don't you go and roll under 65% for that?
I'm not sure what you just said. Hold on. Let me roll real quick.
I said I need you to roll under 65%.
I rolled a 98.
Yeah.
I rolled a 98.
Stop rolling so high.
So you rolled high. No, you don't get a 4 bore rifle.
All right, Hector. That sniper rifle that mofo's use to take down like tanks and stuff. The big nasty boys.
An anti-tank rifle.
He wants an
M134.
He wants an M134.
No.
Is that what it is? No.
No, it's not.
It's not.
An anti-tank rifle. That's
you know, like the bullets are like that or something crazy, and the whole magazine only carries like 4 shots or something. And
That's where
I don't
that's where I
I
was
don't
going with.
know. I don't know exactly the one. So when it comes to anti-tank rifles, most of them were World War One, and they were pretty small because armor was not that thick at the time. They became obsolete by World War Two, um, and there were some very big ones, but they were normally those bigger ones are going to be like a 2 or 3 man team, usually used to
When did
operate them because you'd have people carrying them, carrying the ammo, and you
when
know,
did when did depleted uranium become a thing?
I'm not sure. Uh, I mean, obviously, probably around the time of the atom bomb is my best guess, but
just
Hmm, I'm
I'm
thinking it
just
might have been a '90s or even '80s thing. That's why I'm asking.
I'm just thinking for a powerful. Oh, you're hiding behind it.
77.
Okay.
But that's those are never easy to get, so you're gonna
We were in Vegas hanging out with Elvis.
those are never easy to get. It's gonna be a low roll if that's the kind of thing you want.
All right, let me roll that real quick because I've
No,
been doing great at that.
no, you did not roll for it.
No, no, no.
No, I'm
I
rolling
think
for
you
it.
already.
I'm calling it.
I,
I'm rolling for it.
you, no, you already got a roll. You're each supposed to pick 2 rifles, so that's not.
Oh, I was going for ammunition at this point, man, not a rifle.
Well, you're getting ammunition to a rifle you don't have, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's not specific. I was just going for depleted uranium rounds.
no, and they're only going to make those for certain things.
All right, let me see. Let me see. Roll anyways,
No, don't
because
don't roll anyway.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Stab it.
Don't roll, yeah. Yuli, what did you want?
Uh,
You said an anti-tank rifle. So I'm,
uh
I'm, I'm trying to
well,
describe to you the problems with those.
I wanna. If I shoot you with this, it doesn't go through you. You just blow up. You just explode. Like, you're behind a car? No, you're not, because I just shot straight through the engine block and still hit you.
Well, I mean, that would be considered probably an anti-material rifle.
Okay, one of those.
Uh,
So next time we're going up against a werewolf, just blow him up.
silver grenade. We should have gotten silver grenades.
all right, those date back to World War One, and they were pretty much the same thing as uh, anti-tank rifles. Um, I'm not sure on what model that would really be, but let's just give you a 50-50 roll.
All right,
Roll 50 or under.
and I rolled an 86.
All right. Well, the lever action rifle you can have, and you can have that in any caliber you want. Um, let's just do a search. I mean, I think Sean already has one.
Do you have a Henry rifle, Sean?
What kind of rifle do you have? You have a carbine of some sort.
I forget what the specific of it was. Let me check. I think it may have just been listed as carbine. Loading. Come on, internet. Do you want a stable, steady, fast internet connection at a low price with 24-hour assistance? Yeah, I've got rifle, carbine, two-handed, but no specifics other than that. Let me. I think it was 357 is all. I should have
Was
wrote
it?
that down.
Well, I told you what it was. You need to write stuff down, guys.
Hey man, I forget to do stuff.
Check your notes section. Maybe put it in there on your sheet.
Yeah, I wasn't smart enough to do that. I Actually, from what I remember, was 45. Man, I believe I said 45 caliber carbine, but that was all I specified.
I have three
Uh,
shotguns.
my handgun, I believe, was
It
all. And
was.
the reason I went with
I don't think so. I think it was a 44.
44.
It might have been a 44.
The reason that I had gone 45 was because, as far as I remember, but you might remember better than I, was simply that I had the 1911 handgun.
Was it? Oh, so was it 45?
Yeah,
Because
because I was
it had
looking
the
at
same.
interchangeable ammo was my
Yeah,
point on it.
I think that's what it is. Actually, I think you're right. That sounds correct. Um, so, Yuli, what about 1895 Winchester, which was the gun that Teddy Roosevelt liked to hunt with,
Okay.
which is in 405 Winchester.
So what is it called? So I can write it down.
It's it just well, I think the actual name is 1895 Winchester. I think that's the model name, 1895, and it's in 405 Winchester, and we'll decide on a damage value for that later.
Okay. So 1895 Winchester repeater rifle. Same thing, right?
Sure. What's going to be a lever action? Yeah, repeaters are lever action, uh, somewhat interchangeably. Yeah.
Okay, so 1895 Winchester repeater rifle.
In 405 Winchester caliber, yes.
Okay.
That's a
Oh,
big
good.
that's a big round. That's a big round.
I will have to start aiming towards using heavy rifles.
I got too much sunlight coming in here. But if I close my window, it'll get hot because that's where all the air is going out.
Yeah, man, this summer, good grief.
And I can't wait for the freaking fall. I live for the fall
Was
and
that
the
it?
spring.
Was that enough boring stuff? Let's get into the today's topic then. Sorry, you guys didn't get the tail light
All right, check
correct.
this out.
Looks
I had
pretty cool.
rolled for no reason 00 1.
Well, you could have used that roll earlier. Um, all
Yes.
right, guys. So today's topic is how do you feel about playing female characters?
Awkward.
Yeah.
Awkward. Why don't you go ahead, since you volunteered, Luke? Why don't you go ahead and start us off?
It's awkward, man. You don't want to be sexist, but we all have our preconceived everything from how we've been treated by the ladies, and sometimes it's not a very flattering view. I think Jack Nicholson might have said it best in that chick flick, Good as It Gets. He said, I take a man and I remove all reason and accountability. When he was asked, how do you write women so well?
Uh, so
I
that's
mean, it's
that's your
awkward.
view.
Sometimes the campaign calls for it, and sometimes you wind up with get tired of just playing yourself all the time. So you want to do something that is so far outside of yourself that it stretches your ability to role play entirely to where you're really playing someone that is not yourself.
Right. So that's a
Um.
big
Go ahead.
weird. I just realized we're like flipped around on the screen.
What do you mean? Oh yeah.
Well, it doesn't
I
matter
don't know.
because we weren't like that for for the last stream. Our
Yeah.
names were.
Yeah.
You and Luke like switch places.
Oh, it was whenever you screen shared.
Oh,
Or
let
was
me
it-
try that again. Let me see what happens.
Oh, probably don't mess with it. Doesn't matter.
I'm gonna mess with it.
Stop messing with it.
I'm messing with it.
Ah!
What is
Ah!
happening?
Reality's being broken.
Yeah, thanks, man. I said don't mess with it, and I did nothing. So thanks.
It did a
I would
lot of
probably
things.
have to. I would probably have to screen share.
Oh,
Maybe, who knows?
Forget it. We don't have our names on names, so it's not a big deal. But Luke said something pretty interesting there. I like to challenge myself every single time I make a character. So I think I've made more female characters than both of you because that does help. I'm remembering my Imperial origin cat girl in the Star Wars campaign.
ah. No, yeah, that was the Psyker Knights campaign.
With laser
Where
swords,
And you guys, I didn't want to be unfair, so I had you guys roll to see who would be Padawan and Master. That also made an interesting dynamic because Yuli's a very strong role player, but I mean,
Not a
dude, I
great
don't want.
leader.
Yeah, and Hector is excellent with strategy and leadership, and a very strong role player as well. So it was kind of fun to have the roles reversed on that too.
I'm gonna give you my. I'm
It
gonna give you
reminds me of
guys.
another campaign of which we do not speak.
Well, I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you my secret to strong strategy. Both of you, and I've told you this before, but this is also for everybody out there who catches this video. Here's my secret to strong strategy when you are playing a tabletop role playing game. Get at that. That was freakishly close. Don't do that. Here's my secret. When you're given a situation, step number one is to imagine an outcome or what the reality is. Just go ahead and imagine it. Just take whatever you have and put it best together as you can, and imagine that that's what's going on. And second is act on it. So just proceed as if you knew what the answer is, and I
Yeah,
promise you, the
I should
answers
have
will be revealed every time.
I should have jumped right on what I wanted to do and gone in and just went up to the maitre d of the fancy front restaurant and said, "I'd like to order a submarine sandwich." I
Mhm.
got confused in all the details. I started thinking that it had less to do with the Chinese restaurant because you were describing after we started doing recon around it, all the back alleys and stuff. Otherwise, I would have just went right in and been like, I saw. My character's a jerk.
And I couldn't
And
I
But that,
couldn't put together
go
that
ahead.
every single person there was a werewolf, so in my mind I was like, well, we gotta find out who's a werewolf first and then act from there. So my mistake was not just being like, oh, this is a fancy place, rag over fence.
no. See, here's the thing there, man. Here's the thing there.
You should have.
Every single one of them was werewolves, and even if we killed
They weren't.
innocent people, even if we killed us, Elvis did it. We had this
No,
out the whole time because he said you could just walk into the middle of the street, kill somebody, and just said Elvis did it.
I'll give you. I'll give you right now. Just doesn't matter. I'll give you a retroactive memory roll. Not only you, Sean, because you have the photographic memory, which I think I might change to eidetic memory later.
Unless you make
Same
them
thing.
two different things, two different skills.
No, so photographic memory, really only robots have that because they literally take photographs. What people used to call photographic memory is now called eidetic memory, which is more
Exactly.
descriptive of what it actually is.
But I thought
Exactly.
they were different. I thought photographic is like if you've seen it, you can recall
That's
it.
why they don't. That's why they don't call it that anymore because nobody actually does that. They
Yeah.
they can, but it's memory of certain details, not an actual photographic scene. Like nobody can do that really.
It's like I turned to a buddy of mine who
Did you
used
want
to
that
live
roll?
Yeah. I once turned to a buddy of mine who lived next door, and I said to him, "I'm going to remember everything that's on top of your fridge right now." And 2 years later, I told him everything that was on top of his fridge. Yeah. Come on. Okay, it's 5. Let me check my character for any
Total?
memory bonus. 8.
Mm, you don't remember details because things were extremely frantic after everything started. But you know for sure, not you don't think everyone was there a werewolf because some people simply ran.
Mm.
They
So
simply
other
ran.
people were way more poker faced and not being the nervous guy at the table.
Yeah, but if they were all werewolves, you gather all of them would have attacked you, but they did not. Um,
That's right. I only had 3 attackers.
but it was a werewolf run game.
Still, we could have killed them all, like Elvis said, and then said, Elvis did it.
Doesn't matter. Elvis would have shot them all.
Yeah, pretty much. I think Elvis did shoot them all.
He did.
What did you call his
He did.
reloading
But
action?
Chicago Reload.
Chicago Reload. I gotta remember that one.
Drop the guns, pull out new guns, and
Yeah.
just keep shooting.
That's an actual historical term.
I think it's also a
Nice.
New York reload.
It might be, but I know it as Chicago Reload because
Yeah.
I think Mossad Ayub did a demonstration,
It's
and yeah, he's just like revolver after revolver, nonstop hail bullets.
Chicago Reload is from the 1920s bootlegging era, the beginnings of organized, well, officially organized or recognized organized crime in the United States. When people of, you know, underground status, with lots of money, you shoot, drop the gun because who cares, and just keep shooting.
Yeah, it runs out of bullets. You pull out a new gun, and you carry 5 or 6 of them so that you can keep going.
Then you get
Um,
your violin case and you pull that gun out of there and just keep shooting.
right. So back on topic. What do you think of my character? How well did I pull off a teenage girl, born of the Empire and drawn to the rebels,
It was
You're
fantastically done.
or the thank you.
you're always a little moody and everything upsets you, so it was perfect.
But was it an unfair portrayal? I mean, I really liked my character. I
No,
was
You also played
it's pretty good.
impressionable pretty well. You started to follow your uh, Jedi master and turn to the dark side as he was teaching you to do.
No, 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 no.
I
I
bring it
was
closer to my
my
lightsaber
Padawan
using
was actually
force
keeping me in the light.
until
I
I
was going dark, and my Padawan
exploded
was keeping me in the
force.
light.
Now it was an overall excellent portrayal, man. I mean, as far as role players go, one of the people I actually miss role playing with, except for that he only plays traditional, is Terry.
Mhm.
I mean, he carries the dice and he'll roll a 1 and call it a 10. He'll roll a 20 sided and say, I rolled a 10, and now he's telling the truth. But it's like, did you just roll a 20 sided and tell me you rolled a 10, or did you roll a 10 sided and tell me you rolled a 10? He's one of the best role players I've ever had the privilege to play with.
No, he doesn't cheat dice. He might microwave them, but he doesn't lie about what's on. No, no. Mostly he cheated because he'd get drunk and mess up. But um, it's just a game. Wasn't doing it on
Well,
purpose.
So like back on the
well,
topic, I don't know, I feel too uncomfortable to pretend to be a woman in fantasy land. But in video game land, I 99% of the time make female characters
Mm,
because I like to see hot women doing awesome things.
that's why everyone should play Metroid.
Um,
Troy's a cool guy and doesn't afraid of anything.
well, another female, another female character that I had was actually half based on Metroid in Yuli's video game campaign.
Oh yeah,
My character Sana Mars, which is an anagram of Samus Aran, is
you were
she was half Ninja Gaiden and half Metroid. So
you're the bastard child of a one night stand.
Language, good
between
sir,
between
language.
between Ryu and Samus, yeah,
Between Ryu and Ken.
Samus. No, no. I don't think I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think procreation works that way.
No, Ryu and Ken make Ryu. Their female cousin. P P P. That's what I'm
I'm
talking about.
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about either. So no, I mean, did you guys even have any female characters? Maybe that's what I'm gonna make you do. I'll make you play female characters in this.
I know
Hector,
Luke's
don't you
done it
remember a
before, but I don't think I've ever have.
specific thing where Ultros? I remember Ultros. Oh, a fiery witch.
Yeah, yeah, with
Because you
Trunks.
set him on fire. That's right. You played Eden.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of campaigns to go through, so I can't remember. But did you play any helicopter?
Not off of memory. I
I
don't think
didn't.
I've ever have.
I mean, I didn't get the privilege to play with you guys every time, man. But as far as every character I remember Yuli ever playing, they were all psychopathic murderers. Nothing to do
What are you
with,
trying to say?
which
Hey,
has nothing to do with gender, but none of them were female either. But they were all just brutal,
hey, man. Hey,
brutal
I'm a
murderers.
nice guy, okay? But in Fantasyland, I have homicidal tendencies. I can't help it.
I think
What you guys? Hey, what are you guys doing? I swing at it with my axe. Well, those guys were taking a
Hey, man.
pee in the, they were
Be
peeing in the river, and you surprised them. So your attack is successful, and well, they're dead.
You're either evil in real life or you're evil in Fantasyland, man.
that is
That's how it is.
that is a twisted justification, and I worry for you, sir. Um,
Well, actually, that brings up an important point outside of female characters. Is characters in general. When you're building a character, if you take no realism traits, not like this, ugh, chaotic neutral. There's no such thing as chaotic neutral. You're neutral or you're not neutral.
yeah,
You're kind of
yeah,
chaotic good, chaotic evil, lawful, neutral on the goods and evils. But with the heavy metal system, you have a unique uh, layout for this to where you can take traits
well,
that
what
will
what
make
what
your
what
character more toward the evil side, and you can neglect to take realism traits such as values, life.
right? And the thing is, other games. So other games that attract other kind of players don't have that, and they don't need it because they attract normally veteran players, people who already they just don't need that social contract between you and the GM, and there's usually trust between friends and stuff like that. But because I want D&D players to get off D&D and play something better, there's
It's
a
a bad
social
habit.
contract there. Yeah,
D
there's a
and D is
social.
a very bad habit.
Sure, but that's exactly the problem. Instead of there's a it's a way to write out that social contract between GM and players where you're not going to go. I mean, you can go off the rails all you want, but don't go off the rails of your own character. Like play your damn character. Don't just switch it
Exactly,
up
man.
don't switch it up every day and or every hour and you know you get things done that way when you're uh, I mean if you're playing the kind of campaign where it's a sandbox and you just go wherever you want and maybe it doesn't matter, but when you're trying to get a story out, it makes a huge difference when every second somebody else is off doing something else and being a wanker, like uh, and that happens a lot in
Well,
D&D.
not in
So,
real life. I mean, players can be as big a wanker as they want, as long as their character's not a wanker.
well, like I said, it goes back to the three things that you have to have two or three of, right? In order to be accepted at a table, you can be a wanker in game, but you better be a nice person outside of the game and bring snacks. You know, like or you can be a wanker in real life, but you better have a very useful character and bring snacks. Or you
this
can
makes
not bring snacks
sense.
and be cool outside of the game and into the game.
This makes sense.
If you do
I've
two of
always,
those, you'll be fine. But
I've always been a strong role player, a complete jerk, and never brought snacks.
mhm.
Yuli's been an excellent role player. He's always brought snacks, and he's a really cool guy. He's been carrying me the
He's been
whole
carrying you the whole time. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But I mean, we have a obviously we have an in-group dynamic. We've known each other a long time. Um, but so the only like back to the role playing female things. The one that gets weird, but I mean, I just have to learn to live with it. Normally I GM, so I end up playing a bunch of females anyway, NPCs, and it's like, oh great, players hitting on you, and you're like, uh, you're have to disconnect that thing and be like, wait, he's not actually hitting on me, he's hitting on a character that I'm playing.
Yeah.
Uh, but there is that. Like, almost always, there's like a brief moment where you're just like, "Why is he hitting on me?" And I mean, once you play a female character, you're committed to it, right? So it's not necessarily somebody hitting on you, but there's a bunch of awkward
And
situations like that.
I tend to take it on from the standpoint of I try to really get into my character. So when I come to the table playing a female character, I am that female character. As you were saying, because I've GM'd, and when you wind up playing so many characters at the same time, you don't get into your character. And like you did say, you do wind up with that, why is this guy hitting on me feeling? Otherwise, you're like, I am a pretty lady. I understand why this guy's hitting on me. And depending upon the qualities of your character, you may take advantage of it, or you may say, "Oh, you're so sweet and nice. No, thank you, but I've
Right.
got
Well,
pressing matters to attend to. I've got to go. Thank you for all the
yeah.
information."
Well, I mean, there's definitely been a progression there. Like probably in the beginning, it's ridiculous. We're like, oh, oh my, and you're like having it up because you don't know what the hell to do, and overselling it, and that does actually give you a disconnect to where you can be like, well, I'm being really ridiculous, so it's not me, and you can get through it pretty easily. But later on, when you're, you know, more life experience and have actually been hit on by people, you realize it's not really that different.
That's something that I'm finding interesting right here. Specifically, I'm a wannabe actor. Who isn't? I got bit by the acting bug. Yes, so did everybody. You want to do a lot of no work and get paid a lot of money, but it is a lot of work to get into a character and really be a character. And that's another thing about this system that you built, Hector, is it builds robust characters for robust role playing, and it rewards role playing the entirety
Yeah,
of the system. And I
yeah.
think
So
actors might actually benefit from using this system.
yeah, so one of the reasons there's so much stuff on the character sheet is because you should know the character on the character sheet um, almost as well as you know yourself, maybe even better. Um, and so you
Actually,
fill
you
out all that
will.
information to make you
Actually,
give you a thought process about what that character actually is.
actually, in my experience, you will know your character better than you know yourself. I mean, dude, I still don't even really understand
Sure, because
half
you
the crap that I do. But a character that I'm playing, it's a little more straightforward. And everything is listed right there as to why this person does what they do.
Yeah, well, you have that third person perspective on them as well as the first person perspective on them.
A lot of it comes down to the realism traits, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, which those are designed to make you think of your values, right? And values is kind of defines your character. So
Excuse me. Sorry,
that's how
coffee.
that ends up working.
Now, Yuli, you've been oddly quiet.
I've been
How do
listening.
you play a female character? Play a female character. Do it right now.
Have you had a female character?
I don't think I have.
never had a
I don't
female
think I
character.
ever
I
did.
I I think you need to challenge yourself. I don't think anyone's watching or tell them to chime in and tell you to force you to play a female character. I don't
I'm
know.
gonna force you to
I
play a
think
female character.
I
Hey,
think
the next character I make, I'll make him female.
I
Fine,
think
why not? Just to try it out.
I think yeah, I think I don't know, maybe we might want to do a one shot, a preternatural one shot with a couple of dames. Look at me all sexist if the dames were coming out. I said the D word.
I was thinking more along the lines of we could.
Chicks, muchachas, girlies,
I was
ladies,
thinking, you know,
damsels.
I was thinking we could put together that campaign that I want to play, where I'm the GM,
And we're all female?
costume. Oh yeah.
I'm not ready to shave the beard. I've been thinking about it. I want to I almost did it. I was seriously so pressed for time, like all the research that I had to do for this episode. I wanted to shave in some sideburns for this episode. I was gonna do it, and I couldn't find the energy. I couldn't find the time. I just had too many obligations this week.
And
I seriously didn't have the time.
It's been too hot, man. It's just been too hot. That's part
Yeah,
of the reason I almost shaved the other day because I was just like, it is too hot. I need this thing off my face. But then I started sweating, and it was like an air conditioner on my chin, and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I like this. I like this thing.
A little bit of sweat, a little breeze. You got swamp cooler right on your face.
so Yuli, why don't I potentially, I'm not saying this will happen, but potentially,
It's gonna happen.
what it might happen if there's a good reason, because we have talked about adding another campaign or doing something different after this. Right. So if you have a good idea for a campaign in which you can play a female character, why don't you bring that up and maybe we can make it happen in the future?
Sexy
have
space ninjas.
Sexy space ninjas. You really want to play sexy space ninjas?
It's Charlie's Angels in Space. It's Cowboy Bebop
There you go.
crossed with Charlie's Angels.
See, I wanted to do. It might. It shouldn't be too much work, but remember the bike matrix for Road Rash?
hmm
I was thinking of doing one of fighters, space fighters.
That'd be
So
cool.
I'll make a matrix of space fighters, and it'll maybe be Cowboy Bebop ish. I don't know if I want any actual cowboys in it like Cowboy Bebop had, but
Well, Cowboy
Um,
Bebop only had the one cowboy who was obsessed with bounty hunting and took it to the literal degree.
yeah. But
Otherwise, they
remember
were all-
the girl that gave the bounties was dressed as a cowgirl too.
yeah, that was the whole thing because the cowboy, it was a girl and the dude that were giving bounties, and the dude was putting on a fake accent, because the whole bounty hunter thing, cowboy thing. But Spike and Jet, they were not cowboys, or nor was Faye, but they were considered cowboys because they were bounty hunters. So it was like, oh, you're a cowboy, which
Yeah,
is you're a bounty hunter.
Well, there's space cowboys and yeah.
Yeah. But I was thinking, Hector, you know what you could do? Because it is a supernatural world, and some fate,
Oh,
some fate could befall the Winchester brothers, and somehow they become the
They can turn into
Winchester
the Winchester sisters.
Yes, that could totally
Well,
happen. Body swap.
Remington. Please remember
That's
your
right.
names.
Remington. That's right. Smith and Wesson.
We could have a body swap episode.
No, that was their names in the episode where the Archangel. What the fuck is his name?
Dude,
Isaiah, maybe. I can't.
I never watched the show. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
know.
there are the Winchesters. You're the Remingtons. Get it right. I'm making it look
All right,
bad.
fine. So we're the Remingtons, and suddenly we're from the Remington brothers. We're the Remington sisters.
Uh, I mean that's possible. Anything is possible.
Body swap
You guys,
episode.
Yeah.
you guys met Elvis,
Next episode.
which was perfect because people kept swearing they saw him for forever. When I was a kid.
Next
So
episode. The
that's
episode
why
that no one wanted.
that's why I thought of that.
The
And I
episode
was like,
of epic.
wait, Supernatural is real?
shenanigans.
People keep spotting Elvis? Like, fuck yes, this is gonna happen. Oh, look what I did. I cursed. I got so excited. So sorry.
Put a quarter in the imaginary swear jar.
Mm,
Next
Clink.
episode.
wish I had a quarter.
It's still there. Next episode. The episode that no one wanted. This
No,
summer,
you
the
guys will be off.
Winchester brothers become the
I know what's gonna happen for the next episode, but you you guys are in for yet another surprise.
Yeah, we're gonna die.
Well, I mean, you're out of luck points.
Yeah,
No,
but
no,
in
no.
the-
It's my birthday
in
tomorrow.
the supernatural
Perfect
world,
birthday gift.
death is never permanent.
Well, so I don't even know if I should bother to tell you that out of game, but you would have almost would have definitely told you that
He's a cool guy.
you're not a yeah he is a cool guy. You're not
It doesn't
you're not-
afraid of him.
you're not considered a hunter until you've died at least once. So that's a phrase that they use in the show often too. So
And once,
or at least a few times.
and once, Danny dies as a woman
Well, you guys are at a luck point. Just you're scaring me. So
permanently.
I mean, why don't you guys like? I don't know why you're so afraid to use the some of those options that would really save your ass.
Well, in the last fight, to be fair, in the last fight, we never fought a werewolf before, and then we were fighting 4-on-2. So.
Yes, but I made sure. Elvis told you make sure to pack a lot of silver,
I did.
Should have been wearing it.
and you guys were hitting those guys. They were taking serious damage. I got it written down here. Two of those guys were almost dead,
Nice.
including the one that will almost rip you in half. He just was able to, for reasons I don't want to give too much in-game stuff. For reasons he was able to actually transform. Whereas I checked the date and it was not a full moon,
He was the king
So-
werewolf.
so the other guys were not allowed to transform. I mean that's stuff you guys would be able to metagame or not metagame, but remember and put together later. Because it was I checked. I think it was a waxing crescent. I can't remember. But I had it written down. I checked the date.
Nice.
That's
good research.
Yeah. So like that was just a random thing that let happen, but one of them was able to change for reasons, and it also like this is just stuff you could put together later, and like I said, I always would have told you anyway.
I'm striking it to my own horn.
More-
I forced
the
that
rule
guy
is-
to block.
The rule is normally they can only change on a full moon. Normally, but like when you start shooting them and stuff, sometimes they might just change. So
I'm still tooting my own horn. I forced that guy to monologue in the middle of fighting.
that was great. You saved Yuli's ass for a turn. All I needed to do was throw that damn handkerchief out of the fucking.
Yeah, but see,
That's-
I was never gonna break the wrestle. I could have rolled 10s all day, and he still would have outdid me. So I was basically
Well-
stuck to just keep stabbing until he stops. Those are my only
Well, not-
options.
Not only was he special, but he was also because he was able to transform. He was super strong. Super strong.
I think I know what it is, but I don't want to ruin anything.
You were severely outmatched. You can guess if you want. I don't care.
Oh, he was either a pure blood or an
Not-
alpha.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you either way, but you're right. he was either a pure blood or an alpha. Right? Yeah, at a game, that's fine. We'll just say, like, I don't mind you guys having knowledge of ghosts and werewolves because you fought them already. And since there's a lot of in between stuff in the episodes that we don't get to, I don't mind you filling out some of that information because if we were doing a normal game that wasn't for a stream, you guys would have a chance to really suss that out. So whatever knowledge you want to use about ghosts or werewolves or even changelings or whatever else you've fought so far.
I used
Um,
every bit of knowledge I've ever had from every B movie my character's ever seen.
well, it's not. You need to stop doing that because it's not the
It's
same supernatural
inaccurate.
levels.
It's inaccurate, and it's what my character knows.
Yeah,
I did take that really good shortcut with the changeling, even though it was kind of a happy accident. I was like, I don't know what I'm fighting, so I'm bringing everything.
Gentlemen, you'll have to excuse me for just one moment. I need to pour myself some grape juice.
hmm
Juice grape.
yeah. Um, so space ninjas in space or sexy space ninjas in space.
Sexy
I
ninjas
have
in space.
I have been thinking about doing one so I can do like an entry level like template for what is jet fighters, but the problem with that, hope I don't know, maybe by then I can set it up. I would need an actual 3D representation of it because I don't want to do 2D space battles. I think that's super dumb. Um, I
2D
want
space
to,
exists.
huh?
2D space exists.
I
It's
don't want to do
proven.
2D space battles.
Oh, okay. I thought you said 2D space. I was like, dude, we could
No, no,
totally
no,
do 2D
no, no.
space.
2D space battles is done. Um, I think Babylon 5 gets really close to doing really good 3D space battles, but
Man.
like Star Wars is trash, where it's just like
Ooh,
they're just flying like regular jets like through the
dude,
air. It's like get the
dude,
hell
you
out of
gotta.
here. Nothing moves like that.
I'm
You
totally
guys remember the
sideways. I'm, I'm, I'm stealing it. I don't care. There is a DVD animated coming out, Babylon 5. It's going to be August 15th. Oh,
awesome? Um, but Babylon 5 had some of the best battles because remember the human fighters had the four thrusters so that they could turn in all 3D space, and they would do this awesome maneuver where they'd be going straight and then they hit the thrusters a little bit and turn this way and strafe the opponents just flying this way. It's like, oh yes, that's the way you can maneuver in space. Like they do a really good job in that one. Whereas like the designs in Star Wars, some of them make absolutely no sense.
there was
Uh,
another really good
and
sci-fi.
they all move like planes moving through air. Like they have to like bank and turn this way. It's like no, dude. Like once you're in space, an object in motion tends to remain in motion unless acted upon by another force. Like this thing should just be going this way. In order for you to turn around, you'd have to turn your thrusters or have thrusters that go the other way and slow it down and come back this way. So it'd be complicated. It'd be so this is what's keeping me from doing that. It'd be complicated. You guys would maybe not understand it, and I would need to have a 3D representation for you guys to actually look at it and be able to fathom what you're doing. Because right now that we're doing like we just had a fight in an alley. It's 2D basically. You don't need to worry what's up above your heads. There's a roof there. You're never gonna get there. It's not a problem. You only have to worry about how you move around the alley in 2 dimensions. Once you start doing
Hector, the roof is a problem when something crawls up on it.
yeah, but it wasn't supposed to be and it wasn't a necessary detail. Plus, the other thing is we wouldn't use the current version of the system. We would use the legacy system because um, in order to keep track of the movements of all the fighters, you would be stuck on an action speed like the old days, like we used to do.
If you like Babylon 5, you should check out Space Above and Beyond.
I can't remember if I saw.
It was got canceled. It kind of ended, sort of.
So that those are some of the challenges facing us there. Hopefully, I said next week I can have that surprise up for you guys. Um,
You're a poet and you
but
didn't know it.
but I'm not. mm, No guarantees because a lot of work. Let me get to it, but
I guarantee it.
um.
I
Yeah,
propose some
oh, I'm
inflammatory
flattered.
and
But no, thank you.
I propose some inflammatory and perhaps offensive role playing. We could be
Well,
difficult to
look,
do.
well,
I was
like
thinking.
for our audience out there,
I was
we're
just
trying to keep
thinking
it
this.
PG,
Indeed, I was just
and
thinking this.
in the future, we want to set up like a Patreon thing where you guys can come get the good content.
I
Right
was
now, we're
just
trying to
thinking.
keep it tame. There's only so much you can do on Twitch, you know.
I was just thinking that we role play the rest of our interview as if we were in character and playing a woman character.
This interview, or what are you talking about?
Well, we're sitting here hanging out. It's kind of interview ish. And you could play a woman, Hector, and Yuli, most importantly, could play a woman for the first time in his life.
No, so was Eden your only female character, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I've gone
mean,
through.
before I wound up hanging out with you guys in role playing, uh,
Selfless,
I did wind
Abigail.
up with a few of them.
Uh,
I feel like if we did the rest of the hangout
oh,
as
at least three.
females, we would just end up offending people because we're not
Yeah,
playing the
I think,
game. We're just playing
that's why I
pretend.
suggested an
yeah, I think so too.
offensive.
That was my first thought too. I just wanted to avoid it.
Yeah, no, man. I'm like, that would just be terrible. If we're playing a character, it's fine and good. And if the character's offensive and stereotypical, that's kind of unfortunate, But some people
It's
view
fine too.
people in certain ways, and it's not appropriate for us to go and do that right now. But it would have been funny because we probably all have, and women playing men would also have a horrible uh, psychological perception of what it is
I don't
to
know why I
be
think that's. I don't know why I think that would be easier.
You think it'd be
for a
easier for a
woman to
woman to
play
play
a
a
man.
dude?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't know
You know why? I'm not gonna say. Never
why.
mind. Continue. Let's just move on.
None of that.
Moving on.
I'm thinking it would be equally difficult because unless you actually have the mindset, you're looking at a stereotype through your own eyes, through the eyes of the world. You see what's on TV, you see what's in the movies, and you're like, oh, that's how the opposite sex is.
Well, two
You,
campaigns ago, I had two female players and one male player, and they were freaking excellent. But they did play females. But I mean, by the way they were playing, it wasn't really like something you could
were those the cats I
say.
met where one of them played a bard?
Yes, you remember?
Those
Yeah.
were cool cats, man, and
Oh,
all of
they're
them
awesome people.
struck me as the actor artistic type.
Yeah, they're awesome people. That's why campaigns work when you meet awesome people. That's why I recommend everyone play uh, at a table with real people. Uh, there's no better experience.
Hmm.
Yeah, online kind of lacks a bit, man.
There's a tiny bit of
Well,
lag.
what I think lacks the most is we're not right in front of each other. We don't have 8 hours to play.
Hmm. Which is
Everybody
awesome.
aligns a day off. Everybody aligns a day off, and you get together role play. You get there, and you play the whole day. And it's so
Oh yeah,
much more rich and full as far as role playing and strategy.
and I mean that's snacks, drinks, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Get a
yeah.
good, get a
That's
great,
where Yuli's been carrying me the
get a great
whole.
vibe. He's been carrying us both. We've been flat broke for a while.
Well, I mean, there's that, and I mean, Hector, right here, you're a good role player. You're a cool guy. Yuli is a good role player, a cool guy, and he brings us snacks. I'm a jerk. I'm a good role player, and I have no money.
It's team effort, man.
It's a team effort. You also provided the place often, so
Hmm. If anything, that was the
Until
most
the
important part.
neighbors started beating on the walls while we were playing.
yeah.
Bunch of jerks. Oh
We
no,
should
my
throw
neighbor's
some.
having fun. I should say something about it. Bleh.
Yeah, yeah. At 5 in the afternoon, how dare he?
Yes,
Um,
this noise complaint will not be valid to the office, but I could beat on the walls. I mean, well, such is life living in a tiny apartment, you know.
so how about you, Luke? Are you interested in making another female character?
Dude, I like to play challenging roles. I like to play outside of myself, and I'd be very interested in playing anything that is particularly integral to a campaign.
Well, I'm not sure I've ever made a character female for the sake of being female. I think at the time it just felt right. Like the again the Star Wars campaign. I was like, oh, what kind of aliens are there? Like there's cat people. It's like, well, wouldn't it be more interesting if it was a
So
16
you,
year
so
old,
you,
a
so
16
you
year old
made,
girl?
so you made an anime cat girl.
Did I pull it off or not?
I
Uh,
remember when I decided to go female with Eden in the what was it Final Fantasy campaign, the never-ending giant cross character where I wound up playing five characters at once campaign.
mhm.
I was like, okay, every person, every character in this whole thing is dudes. This is
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
imbalanced
I
from
didn't.
any video game. It's imbalanced from any real
Yeah,
world
it
situation.
kind of
It's
stopped making sense as far as the genre was concerned, right?
yeah, man. I mean, not just the genre, but any storytelling, man. Some of the characters are going to be women, but all the people we were playing with had been dudes. Good role
When a
players.
in a JRPG, at least around half, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, when you're playing tabletop role playing games, man, you totally wind up with half of your players being women all the time. You know, like
In a JRPG,
in like 10% of the time, you wind up with half of your role play women
in a
100% of the time.
no, well, what do you say? I think
My
in like a D and D
my
game, in a D
my
and D
math
game,
my math is on point.
no. I think in a D and D game, you end up with like that one guy that plays a female, and he's
Yeah,
just like,
no,
it's like,
no,
oh,
for
I whip him out,
yeah, oh,
and like gets ridiculous, and
yeah, no, it's ridiculous. No, it's that's terrible role playing. What I was saying is when you're playing tabletop role playing games,
have double
90%,
Z
90% of the
boobs.
90% of the time, you wind up with guys who are your players. You know,
Yeah,
otherwise,
it's very male orientated. Not
yeah, and that's
recently
unfortunate. That's
recently
unfortunate.
there's yeah recently there's been a lot more females that come and play the game, and it's a breath of fresh air. Oh man, I think
And
my
actually, that's
my
actually one
last
of that's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about, though, is the heavy metal system itself does not penalize people for playing a female character.
there's only one option. You can take a voluntary -1 power and a +1 reflex, and
But that's not a penalization. That's
no,
a
but you
balance.
it's it's just an option. It and it it's not mandatory or anything. I don't really
No,
care.
but still, it could also behoove your character. If you're going to be a gunslinger, you want that +1 reflex, you
Well,
know?
sure, the reflex goes into your dodge, and if you want to dump power anyway, then it's great.
Yeah, exactly. It's so it doesn't make it like other systems out there that penalize you for playing a female character.
I don't think any game does. They're all pretty egalitarian as far as I can tell. Um, the as far as I know, my game's the only game with an option to change the stats around. Um, everyone else doesn't have. Yeah, every other game I've ever played doesn't have. There's probably not even a box for a male or female.
I remember something. It was probably just my GM then at the time. I was in junior high, man. It was, jeez.
There might have been an advance, which is I think is that where both of us started in advance. Yeah,
Yeah, I was thinking about 30 years
there,
ago, man.
there might have been a box, but I don't think that actually did anything.
All right. It
It
must
was
have been
just
my
a box.
that must have been my dungeon master at the
It,
time. That
it was just
was
a thing you put M or F in it, and it didn't do anything. I think though there might have been. I might be misremembering, so don't quote me, but
yeah.
I think there were classes that were exclusive to female or male.
That's something that I think needs that needs research because I'm
That
thinking
that might be something I imagined. I don't remember.
and I'm looking at it from when I was back in junior high and
There might have been NPC classes too, like priestess of this temple or something.
yeah, and I'm looking at it from what my dungeon master at the time was making the game out to be. So I think he altered things to his wishes.
That's an old. I mean, that's an old memory. Old memory.
And
Um, is my
So, no matter what, my female character is gonna be over the top. Just
a
warning you now.
ninja.
I'm just warning you now.
A
Like,
little.
imagine Mai, the
I
character
made
Mai.
a I made a 2D mini of my first character ever.
Nice.
awesome,
Arcanus Irons.
That's
nice.
pretty cool. What did you
Yeah.
make it out of?
Uh, poster board. Poster board and clear tape
Nice.
and Sharpie markers. Yeah, he's there's a picture of him actually up on my Instagram. Uh,
I finally caught an episode of
he's
Draw with Me. It was pretty fun.
oh cool. Yeah, leave something in the chat.
That's the one thing I
If you,
forgot to
oh,
do.
I'll be there tomorrow, Hector. And
yeah, we can hang out.
tomorrow's my birthday.
We'll be
So
hanging out, guys. If you
you
awesome.
gotta draw whatever I want you to
I
draw.
wish I could send you some libations.
No, it's fine, man. Just give me a look point and draw whatever I want you to draw.
I might. I mean, we planned this for 21 episodes, right?
There's going to be a lot of luck points
We're
that
we're on we're on episode 6. We're on episode 6, and
we are already dead.
2 luck points.
I don't know.
Several.
I don't know.
destiny points.
Helicopter. When's your birthday?
It's not till January.
Ooh, we might have to give you both.
January 10th, right?
20th.
For Luke's the point. I don't.
I remembered the
Seriously,
zero, but one or two.
what I have planned for next week might kill you both. So
We still have like a
um,
destiny point.
yeah, but I don't know. You guys are kind of afraid to use some of the options, man.
It's okay. Next fight, I'm just gonna pass out.
Why don't you pass out? You're untouchable for 1d4 rounds.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a gamble. It was too much of a gamble.
You, if you had passed out and used that destiny point, the guy would have just thrown you on the wall, and then you would have left Luke to die.
Exactly.
But
And I
But-
chose to save my brother and
So it
force
wasn't
the monologue.
it wasn't the best, but you could have chosen to be captured instead,
Yeah.
and it would have saved you a luck point. Like you guys got options, and if things weren't so hairy, sorry about pun, you can you might have used that. You might have rolled one, right? You might have rolled a one for how many rounds you were knocked out for,
Hmm.
and then you get up and throw the fucking handkerchief, and you're done. Like,
Watch
you know what I
the
mean? Like,
potty mouth.
You had too much apple
yeah, I know.
juice.
Sorry, it's the apple juice. It's giving me a
Oh,
sugar
and you're
high.
getting on me about saying things when I've had too much
Yeah,
grape.
yeah.
Oh.
But I didn't. Man, I worked really hard for this episode, so I deserve a little nip.
Of
Actually,
apple juice.
uh,
Hmm.
the last two episodes, man, have been, from my viewpoint, very well written as far as it was going. Uh, there was confusion in the entirety of the description of the area, which made me take away attention from. Had you not described the entirety of the area with this entire reconnaissance thing, I would have just went up and said, "I would like a Subway sandwich."
It's just you guys.
And
You guys were frustrating me because you had the answer. You said behind the restaurant. Cool,
yeah,
that's true. So what is behind the restaurant? Because there's two faces of the building and they both have restaurants on them. So what's behind the restaurant? And every time I mentioned that little wooden fence, you guys.
oh, I couldn't picture where the fence was, and that's another thing that lacks when you're doing virtual gaming rather than tabletop gaming, because
Yeah, yeah, and I don't have
you would have put the whole thing on a map. You would have either
yeah, but
made
I mean
Or or
because
the
it's
seats are
online, I
empty.
need
Go ahead.
because it's online, I need another camera for it. So that's something I'm
Yeah.
working on too.
Yeah,
It's like
no, that's something that lacks in general in online gaming when you're doing tabletop RPGs. That's why it's important for people
but
to actually get together and
I felt like I
play.
was doing I felt like I was doing the hint again because I kept bringing up the little wooden fence. Like, why aren't you guys curious?
Eventually, it started
What?
to dawn on me that the wooden fence is odd.
For you guys who don't know, I'm referring to the Judge Dredd campaign where it's like it appears as though something grabbed his wrist super hard and bruised him and broke his wrist, and something had a grip of him really hard. And then I tell you, I interrogate the vending machine. The vending machine comes up to you and says, "Hi, how can I help you?" Like this, and nobody's getting it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
man. Dude,
I
that
wrote it
can't
super
be
easy."
what, 10 years ago. How am I supposed to remember this?
No, no, I'm just saying, like to me, the wooden fence was that obvious. No, just like I can't make it
You
any
only had
more
to mention it
obvious.
like 3 times before I got curious.
Mhm.
It's like, what's up with the wood? Who cares about a stupid wooden fence? Oh, what's behind the wooden
Uh,
fence?
it's-
My thought process, I was looking at it like, okay, Chinese restaurant. That's what they told us. Go into the Chinese restaurant, say the password.
yeah, but where do they throw their trash? And I even like went on and on about this damn wooden
I
fence.
didn't even care about reconnaissance at the beginning until Yuli went reconnaissance on the thing to try to get Elvis into the building. And I was just like, yeah, my thought process changed from, say, I would like a Subway sandwich as soon as they asked me what I'd like to order, to what am I supposed to do? How do we get Elvis in the building? What are we supposed to do? What's Is it the
You-
alleys? Is it up to the apartment? Where
I
is this poker
I
game
intentionally
happening?
I intentionally put a bunch of kegs near the fence so you could throw them at the fence and knock it down if you wanted to. And there was no limitation to how you could get Elvis in there. And when you told him to get the truck, I was like, awesome. This is exactly what I wanted them to come up with, something
That,
that I didn't think of. You
that's why
guys
I was
could have,
asking you how sturdy the fence was. Because if it was just
yeah,
some
you guys,
flimsy wooden fence, it's like, just jump through it. But it was
yeah,
sturdy, so I was like, nah, smash it with the car, get in there.
but you guys could have karateed it down or something. I don't know, whatever you wanted.
That takes
But that's
time and it's noisy. Fast truck.
Hmm. Or you could have just told him to park
my
the
truck.
truck next to the fence and climb over.
Yeah.
No, I was worried if he was too close that people would be like,
No,
"Who's
he liked
that?"
your idea. He liked your idea of smashing through the fence.
I'm glad you said
He was like,
because
"Oh hell yeah, I'm gonna crash the car into it."
but
This is badass.
that's one of the things.
The
That's one of
grand
the things that
entrance.
that's one of the
Yeah.
things that actually happens though that I've noticed when we play together on the tabletop with a map out in front of us and either using figurines and drawings or cardboard walls, the scene in front of us was more apparent. When it's being described, there's ambiguity, and it leads to
Here's a here,
uh,
here's
strategy.
here's the thing here's the thing that you're not accounting for. And that's that ambiguity is actually a good thing because even if I didn't describe it, you can still suggest that it might be there. If I think it's a good idea because I didn't draw it down and cement it in reality,
True,
then I
true.
can, then I can go, yeah, you know what? Why don't you roll? Uh, roll, fine, roll something, and then,
And I'll
oh, you're
roll
right, it
some.
is there.
I'll roll some ones, and it's no.
Yeah, you might roll some ones, but on the other hand, you might be like, oh, yeah, that's exactly there. It's in the corner in this part, or
The
it's
build
right
as
there.
we
Yeah,
go battle
whatever.
map.
Yeah, no. That's part of theater of mind. You guys, I mean, I think I painted a fair picture, but
I do as well. I had a great picture in my head, but the significance of points were lost. I started overthinking. My
mhm.
initial was to just go in there and say, I'd like a Subway sandwich. So that the guy would say, what? Or, oh, right over here. Or he would say, what? Or,
Well,
oh, right over here.
if you had
Try
done
to,
that,
try
he'd
to
tell
put
you
it
you
together.
he would have told you you were early and offered you some food.
You're Ali. You buy something or you get out.
Hmm. He would have told you earlier and suggested you have a seat and eat some food,
No, yeah,
which is what you did anyway.
yeah. I mean, we're half.
But at least then you would have known that maybe this is the right place.
We're kind of
And I can't believe you
halfway.
guys actually found that investigation method. That was my least
I,
favorite one.
I should stop. I should
there
stop
was
drinking
there
grape juice while rolling.
there was several different avenues for you guys to find that game, and that was the least interesting one. My
But
bad.
it got us there just in time to end the episode with 2 minutes to go.
No, that was Yuli's use of that luck point. He was about to be torn into.
Yeah, I mean, already strong guy, werewolf on top of already strong guy. Like, yeah, no, ain't happening.
Yeah, I gave you the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
chance out there.
So he was massively strong when he picked you up, and then after he woofed out, he was much stronger,
Yeah.
considerably stronger. Not like he didn't double, but he probably got like an extra 25% or something. I don't know. I wrote down the stats here.
I think his
So
name should
Um,
have
then,
been Michael.
so
I
then,
think his name should have been Michael J. Fox.
so then,
no.
can you make a powerful character with a high power, werewolf, and then rage?
Yeah,
Stack, 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 stack.
yeah.
I miss
But
Trunks.
right.
I miss Trunks so much because he was so strong. I could basically almost do anything. Look, oh, some guy runs into a house. Pfft, I knock the house over and go in.
And I remember you did.
Yes, I was a
And it
menace to that
was
society. Because
you
people
would
would make
just
fun of me, and then there would be a lot of construction the next day.
destroy. You would just destroy things. It's like Hector, you're playing a good character. Stop destroying houses.
Somebody kept cleaning my mud pool. So pissed. I had a big fancy pool, and I'd make it all muddy, and the next
Oh
day
yeah, they clean
it'd
it
be all
off.
clean, and I'd be like,
It was a hot.
ah!
It wasn't a mud pool. It was a hot tub. You kept fucking filling it with dirt.
Next week, the episode no one wanted. The
Yeah,
witch.
he was. You would have taken 3d12 damage. if you had on that grapple roll
Are you rolling it for the heck of it?
for the hell of it. Yeah, it was only 22.
Oh, only.
Hmm.
He would have been alive.
I'm gonna tell you right now if I died or not, because I had pre-existing damage. If I would have happened to take in technically 21 because I have the power. Oh, I don't remember when. Oh, I used to have 4. I was already missing. You said 22?
Yeah.
On next
21.
week's episode of the Winchester Brothers, Yuli rolls a 4.
Remington. Remington.
Ramington.
Learn your character name.
No.
Check it
You're
out.
hurting my feelings and making me feel look
I
bad.
You
would
are
have
Dead.
died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that came out better than I thought it was going to.
Oh no, that's fantastic, man.
Yeah, that's a little peek at our character sheet that we use. They're designed by Luke, who's put in a bunch of hours and made something pretty amazing.
I like to play it like Scotty. It's a lot less hours than Captain, that will take 14 hours.
I
I
just
can have it done in 3.
I didn't even ask him to do the hit point thing, and
That was
he
just fun.
totally made a hit point thing that keeps track of your hit
It had
points.
to be done, man.
Tells you when you're dead.
It
That's
had to be automated. It made
dead
it
or
fun.
knocked out. Take that. Whatever you guys don't even know. That's awesome. I don't know.
I hope to learn enough coding so that I can to port this thing somehow.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope that it's just like you put a command in front of it or something. And
Yeah, it's not that. From what I've been able to tell, it's not port friendly.
well, we'll figure it out. I mean, there's still a lot to do.
The most important thing is
Wise words.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, amazing.
Was that intentional or not?
No, he's got to play it off like Sean Remington now to make it seem like it was intentional. So he doesn't. Yeah, so it's not.
always
It doesn't lose face.
intentional. It's always intentional.
Sure, of course. That's a really nice, smooth cover there.
That's how
Very nice.
any good role player plays it. It was always intentional.
The things I have planned for you to do. So I'm just waiting for you.
Intentional.
Just waiting for you to fail that sleepwalker check.
I thought I'd failed it this time, man.
No,
I
you're
had-
at 20. You're at 20 or under. I'm waiting for you to get hit in the head again so I can raise it higher.
When I rolled, I had the rules backwards in my head. And to begin with, when I rolled, I didn't even know what the hell I was rolling. I just knew percentage, rolled it. Then I was like, oh, I failed epically because this was a percentage roll.
Oh, but Ulicopter, good use. You didn't pick up a neurosis or have to go through a death arc because you used that destiny point.
Yeah. And
Instead of that, you got Elvis as an ally.
yeah,
That's badass.
got a gunslinging Elvis as a partner.
Well, Elvis loved to shoot. He'd
Is that
shoot.
like
You
a
get
fa- is he like a familiar? Can he be called into play at any time?
no,
I figured he'd just be traveling with us, no?
nope. He's Vegas based.
Okay. But he's
Totally
Elvis,
getting
meaning
called-
he could appear
totally gonna-
anywhere in the world at any time.
He's totally an ephemeral being who will show up at any time and just start shooting bullets at everybody.
Oh,
This
sorry.
is what I will count on as I
No,
go.
he's Vegas based. But if you're in Vegas again,
Or nearby.
you got a friend. You got a friend in Vegas.
Yeah.
Paradise.
A powerful ally. I did a good
Oh
job.
yeah, he's sick. Well, in real life he was a marksman. Not really, but he he would like throw things in his pool and shoot them all day with his 22. Or
He
like
shot his
there's a
television.
yeah, he did, and he his friend told a story where he picked up a snake and he didn't know what it was, and I was like didn't like it, so he whipped out a gun and shot its head off. Like like guy can shoot. Like he just loves shooting, so it's like oh
He
yeah,
also loved his booze.
yeah. But yeah, I was just like oh yeah, Elvis, he's a shooter, all right.
No, I'm looking forward to making the female character. I'm not gonna take any combat skills.
Oh yeah.
So
So, Luke, you're gonna have to be the
you're
warrior this time.
you're going to make Nikolai Petrikov.
I'm gonna try, and then I might just end up redistributing all my points. Cause how
So you're
can you
going
be
to
good in a
make you're
fight if you
going
can't fight?
you're going to make Nikolai Petrikov, and you're just going to run people over.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't
Maybe
know.
I'm really good with rope, right? And I lasso people a lot. Maybe something like
Oh,
that.
there's like two or three different rope talents in that are new.
you've
Check them
fallen
out.
in a pit. Does anybody have rope? I have rope. Do you have rope use?
Yeah, there's new rope talents.
Rope
Yes.
talents are fantastic, but when it comes to things like where, and I don't know what the new system is done with rope use, but I remember back in the day, your party has fallen in a pit. Does anybody have rope? Yeah, I've got rope. Does anybody have rope use?
And then you end up taking the
Set
rope,
the rope
throwing
on.
it out of the hole, and being like, okay,
I
what
set
now?
the, I set the rope on fire.
Rope rope use is super awesome in this game. Super awesome.
I mean, basic rope use in this system is you can have zero ranks and know how to use a rope because rope is rope.
No, but
You
rope
have
use in this
one,
game is badass.
yeah, if you have one rank in this game with rope use, you can tie some bad knots, man. Like you can seriously do some things, man. Got two ranks, you're like lassos and trips and traps, and it just gets more and more advanced and more amazing rather than um I use the rope as butt floss.
Ah, you get a burn. What is it? What is it called? Rope burn.
Rope burn.
Yeah,
Well, it
you get
was hemp rope, but at
rope
least it
burn.
got rid of the itch. Your party is still stuck in the hole. What do? We have
You
rope.
you
I
walk like
throw
a
the rope
cowboy
out
who's
of the
been riding
hole.
too long.
The
That's what
rope
you
is
do.
out of the rope is
Keep
out of the hole.
keep your butt cheeks apart from to not feel so much of the
I have
pain.
rope. What have you been using your rope for this whole time? I've been sitting on it so when I ride on the horse, it doesn't hurt my butt.
No, there's some really good there's some really good talents in there. There I can't remember them offhand, but there's one that lets you never count as rushing when you tie a knot. Um, and it's based off those guys. I don't know if you've seen them where they flick the rope left, right, and they're like
Mm.
winding the rope around a thing, and they're just like whipping it, super
Actually,
badass, and they'll tie you a knot like that. Those sailor guys.
actually, that's the
Um,
same method people use by flipping a necktie over their fingers real fast, and
what's super
they
quick?
tie a
Like some guys like a sheep
single
knot. A
single
sheep knot. A
winded
guy will go
bend.
like this, and he ties a knot. It's like super fast. So there's a talent in that for
Yeah,
that where you can tie a knot. You can tie it as fast as you want, and you get no penalties for rushing. So the DS is super low to tie the knot like all the time, even if you decide want to do it in one action. Okay, like
actually, Hector, that's something that took me a while to put together as a GM. Even in this system, man, is DSs. You know, because you have to consider a lot of things when you're looking at what the DS should be. Some things are obvious, some things are written in the system for you, but some things are not just right there and immediately grabbable to say that's the DS that should be put forth. I mean, how do you deal with
There's
that?
there's a balance. So on the one hand, which I'm thinking of doing, is put make an expanded version of the game, which has page long descriptions for every skill, at least a page
Stay
long.
tuned to
Um,
Reddit Heavy
the
Metal
prob
to find out for all your expansions and all discussion.
the problem with that is it's going to slow your game down. So there's a
Mm.
balance to strike. When I give a one paragraph description, or try to condense it as much as I can, it should speed up your game, but it does rely more on the GM to be able to pop it out and do it himself. So where the game is at, um, speed is a factor, and like through all the playtesting that we've done, I want to get it down to where you can read it and understand it fast enough to where it's usable and quick and doesn't slow your game down so much. Like I said, that one page description that belongs more in either the game masters section or in an expansion, because that in-depth step-by-step kind of super amounts of examples for everything, really super breakdown. Is it really worth it? Will people actually use it? Do you really want to? How many people are willing to invest that much time into it when you can read the one thing up and just guess and have and see how it happens? And there's really nothing wrong with just guessing and seeing how it goes and figuring it out as you go along and do it in the future. Uh, if you stress out over it so much that you need like this huge page, what like whole page description for a single skill, you're I think you're overthinking it. I don't think you need that much. I think you just need to go with it. Um, and I want the game to be conducive to that style of playing where their speed is a consideration. Um,
It does help. It's like that mass combat system that you have.
mhm. Yeah,
Now,
I mean, we haven't used that lately, but um,
last time was with the superheroes campaign where Swoosh was fighting too many people at once and it had to come down to mass combat.
no, so individual actions are always taken individually. You don't mass combat a character, but you wait for the end of 10 rounds, and then you determine what happened with all the mass combat. And the point of that is that historically, uh, they say there is no I in team, but really, individuals have an impact on battlefields as well as they do as in teams. So it's meant to maximize the impact that an individual can have on the battlefield. Uh, for example, amongst the Greeks, they had shock troops which were really good at charging, and it was a small regiment of men who were experienced and were the
This
really
is
hard.
Spartan. This is
Yeah,
Spartan.
well, yeah, they were Greek, but their their job was to go in and break up the formation, and they would win the victories because they would break up these formations and allow the armies to come in and really change the battlefield. So a small group of individuals took actions that change the entire the entire outcome of the battle. Um, so that's why the game is you do your 10 actions, and then afterwards you determine what happens with the different forces, and you only take one turn to do that, and it's a quick little calculation, quick dirty little calculation. You can get out there and check your casualties on either side or both sides, and also to that, being that this game allows for more heroic things to happen, it also is like one person can make a huge difference on the battlefield. We all know that Trunks, for example,
I
was
was
a
a I was a
basic.
one man army.
Yeah, you were flat out a war machine.
Hmm.
So you took your actions, and then so Trunks was actually in several battles. Uh,
I
uh,
counted that as a whole squad.
yeah, yeah, 'cause you did your thing, and God, what was his name? Terry's Lion Man. Uh,
Oh, he didn't go with Lionel. Wasn't it
I
something
no,
similar to that?
it wasn't Lionel. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, he was awesome too.
Yeah, he was a little
Uh,
speedster.
yeah, he was fast as heck. He could climb like crazy. Beefy, like the serious threat. He'd go out and totally wreck a regiment before the regiment actions got to happen, and then afterwards, like you help turn the whole battle in your favor, and that's what that system's designed to do. And it's also like you can have full scale battles where you don't know the outcome, and it doesn't slow your game down so much that it becomes unpleasurable. So
Now,
again, with the skills, back to the skills, it's a matter of speed. When I look it up, I want that condensed explanation where I can be like, oh, okay, uh, maybe 14, roll, you know, beat a 14.
Yuli,
Hmm.
I noticed you're growing your beard back.
Sort
You'd
of,
shaved
kinda.
off the you'd shaved off the sides earlier and gotten rid of the mustache, but you're bringing the whole thing back. Is there a reason for this?
No, I just figured I'd let it happen. I regret it every day, but I can't bring myself to shave it off. I used to not support the mustache because it was too like I have to trim it like every other day or else it bothers me. So it got to the point where I'm like, you know what, mustache, screw you. So I did the Amish thing for a while where I just let my beard grow, but I just didn't have a mustache ever. And it was nice because I'd go like that, and stuff, and
I
hair wouldn't get in my mouth.
I just eat my hair. I just eat it.
I don't like the
And had,
sensation.
I'm like Finn in that one episode where he's just
Hector, at one time you had Hector, you had at one time straight Salvador Dali mustache going on, man.
yeah,
Yeah. Are you busting out the
yeah,
pomade?
yeah. I switched to I think it's Clubman's. I can't remember. I looked up what Raleigh Fingers put in his mustache, and it's much nicer.
Is Raleigh Fingers a mobster?
No, Raleigh Fingers was a baseball player, and the full curl,
No,
the full curl of the mustache is called the Raleigh Fingers after him because he wore it every day to his games.
it's because he fingered Raleigh.
No, he is Finger Raleigh,
Yeah.
Raleigh Fingers.
The
Yes.
Raleigh is his fingers.
He's also a legend and a badass. So
Well, that's
so
enough about beard.
so I don't know. But also I don't know, you guys. If you guys are enjoying this, we might just go to season two. You know, um,
If we
Well,
live that
that's a
long.
good one if we actually
I'm enjoying
get.
that.
I'm enjoying it, and if we get enough viewers, then sure, season two. Otherwise,
You think the viewers have something to do with it? I think we just need to keep doing it, and the
no,
viewers
I'm
will
I'm
come
looking
because
at viewership is essential because we are not getting enough destiny points to be able to
you're
do
Yeah,
right,
that's right.
right.
things.
Tune in, give us
I'm looking
points.
at I'm looking at like
For
I'm looking
reals,
at like
guys, these poor guys don't get enough
I,
destiny points.
I played my character hard. I was a jerk to Elvis. There was it, and I'm like,
I had a destiny point too, and I was if you hadn't used that luck point, I would have definitely used it on
yeah,
To
because
extra
all
murder
those
me?
all those guys had destiny points. Yeah, they were gonna screw with you.
and
Um,
yeah,
and
it's one of those things, man. The viewership really
in
does
case,
make this campaign or break this campaign because if
mm,
nobody's giving us destiny points, we're gonna die.
yeah, I mean, I need to be more generous with them. Uh,
I kind of actually think it's fair. It's a good GM decision.
Well, the destiny points aren't as crucial as you think, because the thing about it is monsters get one half of the destiny points you use on them. So every time you use 2 destiny points on a monster, he gains 1. So there's the balance. The point is, for you, the more destiny points you have to use on a monster, the more they have to screw you. And the monster destiny points are a lot better than the character destiny points, and they don't have a limit to how many they can use per action, per turn, or round. So the thing was, in order to make it fair, like, you guys could get hyped up all crazy and have destiny points to throw around like crazy, but that would also up how many the monsters got to use.
Yeah.
That was the balance. That was the intended
Yeah,
balance. So,
and then
it kind of
and then-
matters. It kind of doesn't. But I do
and
wish.
then as long as the viewers keep giving us destiny points, we can trump the poo out of the monsters with destiny points.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you guys gotta not be afraid to use them. Like I said, there's an option to, instead of dying, be captured,
Hector,
which is a
I
really
have
nice
zero-
option.
Hector, I have 0 luck points and 2 destiny points at this point.
Right. So instead of dying, you can opt to be captured instead. That's one of the options. You guys aren't reading the thing. As a matter of fact, I added an option for the monsters, and you guys probably aren't aware of it because you're not very familiar with the
I
documents.
read through all of it, and at the
All right,
time,
but
the best
you
thing
don't
that I could
remember.
do,
You
I
don't
was look-
remember
I was
the
looking at the
bickering
consequence.
like an old married couple.
I know. I was looking. I went through all of them right there on the spot while combat was happening, because
It's up to you
it
guys
was
to know.
Julie's turn to roll and your turn to roll. I went through all of the destiny points and said, the best thing that I could do at this point is force that guy to monologue.
Well, at least it did work. It did work for a turn. Or like, whether it sounds like I'm negative or not.
Out there,
You guys did do.
we need more we need
You
more
guys,
destiny points.
hold up. You guys did do a lot better with it this episode. So good.
Internet land, we need more destiny points. Hook us up, man.
Yeah.
I almost used the captured one, but then I was like, how am I supposed to escape a bunch of werewolves I've already captured? And then I would have been
Alvis is
taken
still
out
out
of the campaign, sort of, kinda. And then Sean would have had to
Alvis-
figure out a way to find me, and
Alvis was still out there.
yes, that's why I used the ally one.
I struck.
Which, I mean,
This is
that's
destructive tendency.
I didn't know. I actually didn't think you'd have to. But I mean, Alvis isn't a bad ally to have. So
He's the
there's
king. He's the king, baby.
he's the king. He's the king. He proved it on that 3-week bench.
That nobody will ever believe us about. We party with Elvis. Ah, get out of here.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me of, and this is one of those stories. A buddy of mine tells me he was in LA, and what's his name? Bill Murray comes up to him, steals some of his fries right off of his table at McDonald's, dips them in the ketchup, and just eats them and says, "No one will ever believe you," and
I think
walks away.
that was Bill Murray, wasn't it?
Bill Murray goes up to a buddy of mine, and I don't know if my buddy of mine is telling me the truth. And Bill Murray had it right, if this is true. Steals some fries, dips some ketchup, eats them, and says, "No one will ever believe you," and just walks away.
That sounds really true. That sounds like it could totally happen.
That sounds so much like Bill Murray, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, no one will ever believe you.
Yep.
Um,
So I'm gonna say that story was true. I'm gonna say that was a fact that we just heard.
A friend of mine who had a friend that this one time his friend was in LA, and then his friend that he met in LA.
Shut up. Get out of here. So, have you guys given any thought to another campaign, or if you guys would like to run one instead?
Yeah, I've already expressed that.
You seen? I don't know. I don't know. Yuli, you're not feeling it either, are you?
Okay,
Um,
look, I think you guys are not feeling it
You're
because you're not
you're,
thinking about what the campaign is.
you're too
You're
far from
looking at,
tradition for us right now.
I'm sorry, what?
You're too far from tradition for us right now. I don't think we're feeling experimental.
Yeah, it is a little experimental where you're playing yourself and you're playing your alter
Yeah, I
ego.
want to play something else. I
I'd
want to play
be I'd be
myself.
down to play that it's us Doomsday Styles. That'd be an
Yeah,
interesting
I
one.
want to play myself.
I'm down for that still.
You played yourself, son. I don't want to do that.
But you'll be playing yourself in Fantasyland, where you could smoke all the cigarettes you want and never get cancer.
I already do that.
All right, man. I'm looking at the campaign that I want to run has you as yourself with your alter ego. And your alter ego can be whatever it is you want.
Are you talking about
Design
the anime one,
the
the
Chunibyo
wizard
campaign.
one, Chunikyo,
You could do
Chunibyo.
it. Sound it out.
Chunikyo?
Yes, that's insulting to
Chin
the
chin
Japanese.
I don't know what you said.
Chinubio?
Chunibyo. Chunibyo.
Chunibyo?
Chunibyo.
Eighth grader syndrome.
Chunibyo.
It's eighth grader syndrome where you believe yourself to be a superhero and run around cosplaying in real life
Yeah,
and
I
then
know.
maybe
It's the
never let
wizard.
go of it.
Behold the wizard!
Yes.
Behold his
And basically
power!
and basically
Unspeakable power! Like I cracked.
basically that's what everybody's doing when we go around role playing video games. We're getting into a
I
role
stand for that one.
where we are not ourselves. The only difference in my campaign is that you are yourself role playing your alter ego.
Yeah, see, what do you have this self thing in it? I don't know.
Hector wants an
It's
escape.
actually,
Yeah, yeah.
actually,
Are you kidding
actually,
me?
no, actually, that's a thing specifically that I've been obsessed with since the beginning of the rule system.
It's kind of meta, don't you think? I'm
No,
playing myself, playing someone else.
no.
Like,
See, the thing is, what got me, man, what made me go in this direction came from about what 10, 15 years ago when you started 20 years ago when you started the system was how grounded in reality it is. And I was looking at it as like, how can we test how grounded in reality it is? I want these people to play themselves. I want to see the extent of the system itself in a reality, and with the
well,
Tunibio campaign
as far as
allows
far
more fantasy element.
you got me mildly interested now because as far as things go, I think this is the best system to do that with out of any of them.
Exactly, because you cannot say, okay, make a you're we're playing D&D, make a human. Okay, so I'm making a human. I just rolled 1800 strength.
Yeah, no. If I
Yeah,
wanted to be a
you're a human, all right.
if I wanted to be a stickler, like you keep saying like, oh, it's Hollywood. It's like no, Supernatural is fairly grounded, despite being called Supernatural. The human characters really don't do things that are outside of human
Exactly.
capabilities.
The only
So, and you guys
yeah,
haven't either.
the only reason I say Hollywood is because Hollywood, you shoot a gas tank, it explodes, that sort of
Yeah, no,
thing.
no, stuff like that
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
not
So,
outside of the
they,
reality of human capability.
wouldn't you say they do a pretty good job of it? Usually making it believable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the show is a paradox. Like I said, on the one hand, it's super campy, but also extremely dramatic. On
You
the
know,
one
you
hand,
know,
on the one hand, there's
Sci-fi means
monsters
campy.
on the one
Sci-fi
hand.
means campy.
Yeah, hold up, but on the one hand, all monsters, like every monster ever, pretty much exist. But on the other hand, the humans are very grounded. They only do human things, so it's got its feet in both worlds, which is probably I think part of its appeal for it and why I wanted to use it for this. Like you guys don't get away with doing super cinematic things that I would let you get away with doing in like the Final Fantasy campaign, where it's
Yeah.
okay for you to leap over a rhinoceros or a
You're
elephant.
human. Roll your strength. 1800. Huh.
Yeah, that's right.
You're a human.
And so when it comes to the realism though, it's all in the system. It's all written down for you, but it's up to you as a GM to enforce it. Uh, and if you don't feel like enforcing it, like you shouldn't have to, obviously, and you shouldn't. But
Oh, that's a classic thing,
so
man.
so so see so
Where
see
if you're a
some of the things
GM,
that isn't
do what you want.
some of the things that isn't written in the game, but I hope that people like watch this and understand that um, it's not written anywhere in the game, but it is implied. When people like you didn't get attacked for 3 rounds, basically, because the guys had to get up. There was chairs and tables in the room. Like other games,
Realism.
you just walk around the other side. Oh, I move here and I get my attack action and this action. So no, none of that. People have people have a
Hector,
natural stutter about their
no, Hector,
actions.
it's simple. It happens in video games all the time. It's called no clip. Walk right through the table and right through all the NPCs, and I shoot that guy through all
No.
the NPCs.
That's crap. That's crap. Uh, the point is, those guys still have hesitation. They got to get it in their head. First, they stand up, then they start moving things aside, then they take a course of action. Like there is like I've I've
Oh
never been
man,
in the armed services, but I've had people describe it to me. When you first get into an actual battle, there's a haze, a fog of war kind of thing, where you're severely disorientated and you have to like get through it to start acting normally. Well, I have been in a lot of violent situations. Yuli and I, we bounced for 12 years, for example. No, I bounced for 12. You did what, 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all that was, me and Yuli bounced together. So, like, um, if you're not ready for like a situation, there's a whole, uh, thing that happens where you're, it doesn't seem real yet.
You hit the
There's a
loading screen.
hesitation. Yeah.
You hit the
And things have to
processing,
process.
and then yeah.
Uh, 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 Luckily for me, I'd already been in way too many fights before that to have to experience that. But most people experience that kind of thing. Uh, and even if they're werewolves, it, they're still were human at one point. So I take stuff like that into account. And I gave you like 3 actions to start shooting before people figured out what the hell to do, right?
but that's where the no clip comes in, and the table is irrelevant. You go right
No,
through it. The NPCs are irrelevant. You
no,
shoot
that's
right
crap. That's
through
crap.
them.
That's crap. So it's up for you. It's up to you as the GM to give it a vibe of reality, and that's I don't know. Hopefully, it came out that way today.
The rules are there, man. The rules are there.
They
They're
are there, but
available.
they're implied, and it's up to you how to
They
run it. But
make sense too.
that's the way I like to run it. Um, like when something first happens and it's like unexpected, there's a little lull every time. I don't know if you've noticed that I do that, that I put in before
So it
people
is
actually start
implied.
acting against you.
So it is implied. The two of you will be the subjects in my new campaign.
Which campaign?
Maybe. I mean, you might convince me.
You're already convinced.
I'm
You
not
know it
closed off
because
to it. It's just there's other things I'd rather do, which is like almost anything at this point. Like Yuli, you keep saying sexy space ninjas. That sounds amazing. but I don't want to run it.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Oh,
Well, I could always run a anime space bunny cat girl campaign that
99% shenanigans.
that that's based in a world of cat bunny girls that
I already
um
played a cat girl. I want to play something else.
You could play a bunny girl.
bunny exactly
I'll play the cat
cat
girl.
bunny, your cat bunnies. Then there's like
Me, wow.
anime
It says
and there's
I was playing
and
this
there's
game not too
and
long
there's
ago. It's
and
called
there's ninjas and
you
there's
remember
assassins and
River City Ransom?
Oh, sounds familiar.
Somebody a few years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, they made a game called River City Girls, and your it's like updated beat 'em up. It's still like I don't know 64-bit graphics beat 'em up,
Mm.
or maybe more than that. But you can like it's not very pixelated, but it's mildly. I guess if you zoomed in a lot, you could tell there's pixels. Um, and it's like, oh, our boyfriends got kidnapped, and you're the River City Girls, and you got to go find them and you do beat them up, and you get all the skills and stuff. That'd be great. That's what I would make you
perfect. That's the campaign. That's the campaign I'm playing. Only you're playing yourselves and you're
I
tuning
I
your
like. I was playing with Danny, and I was like, Danny, I like. I think I liked it more than Danny. It's like, come on, Danny, let's play River City Girls. Let's go rescue our boyfriends. I thought that game was
right.
cool. Very cool.
Perfect. Perfect. That's right along lines I'm going. That's exactly
But
what you're
River City,
playing.
no, River City Girls is awesome because it. I don't know if they took inspiration from this, but it's basically like the Warriors. You know how every section of town you run through, there's a different gang with like a theme,
Mm.
like the baseball playing gang and the wrestling gang, and that was awesome.
The River City Girls. I'm gonna look
Yeah,
it up.
yeah, look it up. It's super cool. As a matter of fact, maybe we should get a like a online. I think it has online support. Maybe we can get a game going like you and me.
You know me, man. I've
I
always
don't know how
been.
my
I've always
boomer is
been up
showing. I
on.
don't know what it's called when you play online with a friend.
You know me.
You mean online play? Come on.
I don't know.
Online
It might
co-op.
just
That's what we're looking
it
for.
it
Online
might just
co-op.
be the apple juice, yeah. But we could do. I think it might have support on
Man,
it.
you know I like to test the system. You know I like to PvP the system. And the one
Yeah, I'm
thing
not
I've
really
yet,
worried about.
and the
I
one
know,
thing
and
I've yet,
I appreciate
and
it,
the
but
one thing I've yet to do is real characters.
that's the one. Isn't it cool? Does it look cool or what?
And it's just a side scroll beat 'em up.
Yeah, yeah. It's a beat 'em up, old school beat 'em up, and you get more points and you up your abilities and you get more attacks and the whole deal. It's a really nice clean game. The sprites work awesome. The hit detection works great. The everything was really cool about it. The stages are badass. Um, it, I mean, I played that new Streets of Rage that came out or something,
It's like
and it was
6, right?
actually
Streets Rage 6 or something.
yeah, and it was really tame. It was like you guys didn't innovate anything. You guys were the bomb back in the day, right? Streets of Rage was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I was like it moves a little cleaner, but really did anything happen here? Like, was this really a great game? I unfortunately think not. Um, Everybody went on about the soundtrack, and I didn't think it was anything special. But that River City Girls, highly recommended. The special moves and everything were great. They worked really intuitively. The controls were crisp. Like I was having a blast playing that game.
It doesn't look bad.
Yeah. Oh, you know which other one? I don't know. I don't know if we can get Lugia on it. If he fixes his laptop or whatever. But Charlie Murder. Maybe we need to do some retro gaming instead of this. What we're doing right now. We'll play We'll play River City Girls and we'll play
We'll
Charlie Murray.
we'll stream us playing games, but nobody can see the game, just our reaction.
Yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how anything works, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We're not
I'm
super
not
dumb.
much. I'm not much for that, man. I'm a solo gamer.
Yeah, there you go. Get out of here. Bring down the room, Luke. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm gonna poo on the room and walk away without wiping my butt.
On that note, why don't we just go ahead and call it? We've been doing this for 2 hours.
All right.
Guys, if you joined us, I know this was super interesting and you loved every minute of it. I'm absolutely
We
positive.
stayed on topic maybe the first 5 minutes, but
Yeah, yeah.
Watch out.
Let's. You know what? Let's start a new thing. Let's start a new thing. The topic of the day was role playing females or the opposite sex. We'll just go yay or nay.
okay.
I find it's a good role playing challenge.
I find it weird and it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Are you gonna give us a nay? All right, so that's two yays and one nay for you guys. That's our verdict. Take it as you will. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. Um, Guys, hit us up. Okay.
Next time when
There,
we
hopefully there will be
come
more
together,
apple juice.
and we will
Uh,
drink
Catch
plenty of
us.
fruit juice, which has been mildly aged.
Check us out. Go down there wherever it is. Hit schedule. Check out when I'm coming on in your time zone. Central where I'm at. I think it's 4:30.
Schedule.
Oh, okay, mate. Calm down. Catch our preternatural scene. It's amazing. We're having a blast. We just did episode 6. Episode 7 coming up next week. If you want to catch up with that, go to my YouTube channel. Also, links down below. Artist for Hire S on YouTube. You can catch episodes 1 through 5. 6 will be up soon. Catch up with the story. See what you've missed so far. We're having a great time over here. Afterwards, this is our after show. The format of this show may change. We are deciding what to do. We don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be wild. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great.
But more entertaining and more informative is the draw with me.
So tomorrow, every Tuesdays, I got a draw with me. Right now, I'm working on this table right here behind me. We got a great cyberpunk scene going. Lots of cool things to talk about. You can hit me up. If you leave me a message in the chat, I will respond to it right now.
And I will control
I'm
you.
currently over flooded with messages. We got a lot more to come. We got a lot more announcements to come. Eventually, the heavy metal role playing game will be released, along with a secret game, which was going to be what I'm going to use to fund the heavy metal role playing game. So stay tuned for that. Much more to come. Also, as another reminder, we have some more social media coming up for you if you want to follow us. Yuli, if you'll hit us with what you've got set up for us.
On Instagram, you can hit us up at Heavy Metal 2023. And yeah, leave a comment. We'll get some links on it pretty soon here. And yeah, all are welcome.
And it is Instagram, so Yuli will be playing an NPC and will lick ice creams for you.
If you pay me.
Pay away, guys. Be generous. Give from your heart. Dig deep into those pockets. All right, we got a lot of good things coming for you, so you won't be turned astray.
And you could also hit us up on Reddit, Luke.
Right, Luke.
Yeah, we got that. That one's more oriented towards release of the system, discussion of the system, improvements will be considered. I mean, everything can always be improved, and And of course, it's up to the creator of the system to say yes or no. Well, if you were to come up and say, hey, this should be a consideration in a TTRPG, Hector's going to say, that actually makes sense. And it's possibly going to influence future iterations of the system. We're trying to make this thing, Hector is trying to make this thing grounded in reality and not overly complicated. That's where a lot of stuff is going to be like, hey, come on, we're not trying to do a science lesson here. But if something
Well,
pops up say is like, that actually makes sense.
I've always loved my paradoxes. So feet firmly grounded and head in the clouds, right?
Exactly, man. If something makes sense and you're just like, all right, that is.
Hey, Luke. If they try to find us on Reddit, what are they looking for?
They're looking for heavy metal, HEAVYMETTLE, and join the discussion.
Yeah. Join us,
Yes.
suckers.
That's it for now, guys.
We're doing this for you.
It's time for. I want to give a shout out to all the submarines. I want to give a shout out to the penguins. I want to give a shout out to the Eskimos. I want to give a shout out to all the igloos.
Alright.
I want to give a shout out to
Alright.
awkward exits.
Awkward exit.
Wow.
Exit 1, 2.